Hey guys, Carl from Purple Moose Plays. Today we've got another Purple Moose's Parcels for you, sponsored of course by Noble Knight Games. If you don't know who Noble Knight Games are, they are a wonderful local gaming store in Wisconsin that also has an amazing online presence, who has a very great sort of collection of used, rare, hard to find kinds of games because they have a wonderful trade-in program. But not just regular board games, they also specialize in tabletop RPGs, means miniatures, means RPG source books, means dice, means basically anything you could use for gaming on a tabletop, whether that's board gaming, tabletop RPGs, and even war games. Some great old, hard to find war games as well. I know my father sold them a ton of his old war games back in the day, which is sort of what introduced me to Noble Knight in the first place. And since then I do a lot of buying and trading, but of course, putting everything out on the table, not just the games, of course, I do want to mention again here that my channel is sponsored by Noble Knight Games. And what that means is, once a month I get a small stipend from Noble Knight in the form of a credit to their store that I could then use to buy games that I will generally do my best to cover on the channel, but it gives me a chance to get access to some games that I wouldn't necessarily normally get from publishers, or something that's not sort of at the top of my list, but something that I'm still very curious about, or potentially something that's hard to find or rare that I can't get my hands on otherwise. And as part of that, every time I do order from Noble Knight, I do one of these Purple Moose's Parcels videos to show off exactly what I've gotten to all of you, and hopefully start up a conversation with all of you about the games that I'm getting, to sort of find out what you think about them, find out what you're interested in seeing on the channel, if there's anything you recommend that I try and track down, and so on. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get into this month's package. This one's going to be a little bit of an odd one. Actually, let me zoom out just a little bit more. Again, this one's going to be a little bit of an odd one because this is not filled with stuff that I would generally take a look at on the channel, but it's not necessarily completely new to the channel. And what I mean this time is that, you'll see this in just a second as I open up this box, is that the games in here, or at least some of the games in here, are children's games. And that's because recently my 5-year-old son has taken a huge liking to gaming with me. But also, you may have noticed on the channel a couple of times now, my nephew Wyatt has also fallen in love with games and is also loving sort of the whole YouTube personality thing and really enjoys joining me to review some of these games as well. So let's go ahead, with that said, and dig into the package. Let me slide this off the screen so you don't see everything all at once, and pull things in as I get to them. And you'll see first up is the game that I sort of am talking about first and foremost when I'm talking about kids games in this package, because this is the one game that's actually very much kids game. And that is Zombie Kids. If you can't see here, let me move that out of the way. You will notice this is used. They come in these really cool big Ziploc bags from Noble Knight. Everything is classed on Noble Knight. I don't know if you can see that, but it says here NM, near mint. This one says envelope sealed, which is important because Zombie Kids, if you don't know it, is a kids cooperative legacy game, which is really cool to me, and I'm very excited to dig into this because I do happen to be generally a big fan of legacy games. So seeing that it's near mint means that it is used, but it says envelope sealed, which means nobody's done any of the legacy pieces of this. So it might as well be new to me. And I'm very excited about this because, as I mentioned, my 5-year-old son has started really getting into games. Now this one does say 7+, but he is playing some more, slightly more advanced games. And he also did play through the Zombie Kids themed flashback game that I did a review of with my nephew Wyatt. You can definitely go check that out right here if you'd like to. But my son had a blast playing that Zombie Kids flashback game, and he's been really curious to check out this Zombie Kids game. And the cool thing is, because this is a co-op game, I can sort of help him play it. He's actually sort of playing with me in games like Marvel United. While he's not really playing, he's sort of sitting with me and enjoying the experience. Because it's a cooperative game, we can work through it together, which is fun. And this now is a more kid-focused cooperative game that he should hopefully be able to do actually more himself in. So I'm really excited to get into this, to see how it sort of changes up, to see what this game experience is like. And I think I'm going to cover this one on the channel. So keep an eye out soon, because what I'll probably do is play through the first sort of unaltered scenario solo by myself on camera, and then play through the campaign with my son, and potentially talk to my nephew, because he's had this game for a while and he may have actually played through it already as well. So he might pop up in that video as well. But here you can see it's sort of a map-based cooperative sort of crisis management game, a la something like Pandemic. But again, kid-focused, mystery envelopes, there's stickers inside, giving powers, mutating zombies. I'm very, very excited to dig into that one. And then actually spinning off of that, inspired by the same play as that one was, is this, Flashback Lucy. Now this is the next game in that Flashback series that I was just talking about. Flashback, again, being the Zombie Kids game that was sort of a, not really escape room in a box, but that same kind of thing where you're turning over cards and solving a puzzle. In that case, you were jumping sort of from the viewpoint of character to sort of answer questions and figure out a mystery based in that Zombie Kids universe. Now this one, Flashback Lucy, from what I understand, again, see, cooperative investigation through images, but this one is sort of paranormal focused, kind of witchy, magic kind of story. It's got 4 scenarios in here. And again, you're jumping from point to point, a point of view to solve mysteries, but there's an interactive comic book in this one as well. And you'll see here, this one says 8+. I don't remember the age on the Zombie Kid one, but it was slightly younger. I've heard that this version of the game steps things up a little bit, gets a little bit darker, so not really for kids. So this one I'm definitely not going to be playing with my 5-year-old son. I might end up showing it to my cousin, or sorry, my nephew, Wyatt, to see if he wants to take a look at it, because he is 9, so he may not be too young for this, as it does, again, say 8+ on this box. But I'm definitely going to dig into this, and I will absolutely be back with a video for this, both seeing how it plays and also comparing to that Flashback Zombie Kids game. Now, I did say this is a small package. The last thing in here is a silly thing, probably doesn't ever come to the channel, but it was a little bit of a gift to myself. Recently, I've been playing through a game with a coworker of mine. I've got a coworker that I work with that we play a lot, and anytime we sort of have big breaks at work, I am a teacher, so we do get some downtime, exam week when we don't have classes all the time, or days when the school is closed but other things aren't closed, so we've got lots of free time. We do play some games, and just recently we started playing through Adventure Tactics Domian's Tower. So I did pick up this hero pack to give us a little bit of extra stuff. Now what comes in here are first 2 minis for what I understand to be sort of the last boss in the game, Domian, or Domian, however you pronounce that. But also in here, you can see it adds 3 new playable classes. The Magic Blade, the Time Mage, and the Engineer. And one of the things that we love so much about this game is this sort of classes and leveling up system in this game. So to give us 3 more possibilities of sort of different classes we can get into, or different ways we can vary the sort of abilities of the characters we're using, is very, very much worth it to me. And this was, I had just a little bit of leftover this month from those other 2 games, so I decided to throw this in as well. We'll see. I might end up coming to the channel with a playthrough review of Adventure Tactics after we've finished the campaign, because I did play a little bit of it solo before I started playing with him cooperatively. So we'll see. If I have time, it might come to the channel, but this is not one that I bought for the channel. This one was a little bit of a selfish treat to myself. So that's it for another episode of Purple Moose's Parcels. Again, this time, not super exciting for gamers out there, but for those of you who have kids and are gaming, I'm excited to show off and dig into Zombie Kids. I'm very excited to see the sort of evolution of Flashback that Lucy brings to the table. And I'm excited to getting deeper into Adventure Tactics with my coworker and adding some new stuff to it. Also, if you did catch my previous Purple Moose's Parcels video, I mentioned that I might be coming to PAX Unplugged, and I was hopeful that it was going to happen. Well, great news is it is happening. I will be at PAX Unplugged. Likely I'll be there as Purple Moose plays on Saturday, meeting with the different publishers, but also wandering around and meeting with all of you. And then on Sunday, I'm hoping to go with my 5-year-old son. He came with me last year and dove right into the library and played game after game after game. Had a blast and is very excited to go back again this year. So if you see me around, grab a hold of me, say hi. I'm happy to meet and talk to any one of you. And I did show these off in the last video, but I'm showing them off again because now it's definite that I will be there and I will have these. If any of you find me, I've got these awesome Purple Moose acrylic pins. Bug me, and one of them is definitely yours. If you've got something to trade for me in return, Penny Arcade is all about trading pins. I'd love to have one in return, but by all means, don't feel the need to come to me with a pin. Come tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, Purple Moose, how are you? And I'm more than happy to let you have one of these. So again, thank you all for watching. This video has been sponsored by Noble Knight, but I'm not just saying that I enjoy Noble Knight because I'm sponsored. I was using their website for quite some time before they sponsored me. Definitely recommend you checking them out, especially if you're looking for something that you're having a hard time finding. Now, as part of the sponsorship, I do get a little bit of kickback. If any of you do order from them, please remember to use my affiliate link down below in the description of this video, because as I mentioned, it does give just a little kickback to my channel, which does help me get new games and keep my equipment running and so on. And yeah, thank you all again for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon below, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks.